what it looks like in a browser. And so then the next section, and this one gets a little hairy too. There's a lot of nested divs in here, and once again I put some comments in there to kind of warn you. But basically this is just the box container, and if you go back into your browser, this yellow line, this yellow border right here, basically that's what the box container is. It basically just keeps these three boxes together, and it makes it easier for future editing, or if you want to switch some things around, it just makes it easier to have all three of these boxes within this one box container to keep them all together. But if you look at this code a little more, so there's the box container, and then we have our three boxes. Here's box 1, here's box 2, and here's box 3. And in each box you have a header and you have a text section or content section. So here's the box 1 header, here's the box 1 text, here's box 2 header, box 2 text, box 3 header, box 3 text, all contained within that box container. Style sheet codes over here. Here's box 1, box 1 header, box 1 text. So that's one box right there, and then here's your box container. Again, on the box container, pretty simple: height, width, margin auto, and then here's the code that gives you that yellow border. But you know, this just all, here's box 1, and that's just basically a rectangular box that has a background color, and we float these to the left. And what that does, if we go back into our browser, when we float box 1, 2, and 3 all to the left, and it pushes them as far over to the left as you can get, and that's what keeps them, that's what positions them in this box. It kind of squeezes them all into the left. And if you add up the numbers and do the math, well, our box container is 300 pixels by 1200 pixels. So box 1 is 300 pixels by 400 pixels. So if you add box 1, box 2, and box 3 together, it ends up being that 300 pixels by 1200 pixels. So mathematically it just works out perfectly. When you float this to the left, you can fit them all in there and get every little pixel. Basically it's pixel perfect, there's no overlap. And then again, this is just the box 1 text. Here's the header. All that is font formatting. Same with the box 1 text. And the reason that we use a header and then text in all these boxes, because we want the header to be bigger than the content text. Just for the user, they're going to be able to visually see that title, that, you know, this welcome title, this welcome header, you know, before they see this text down here that goes along and corresponds with it. And so, you know, box 2 header, box 2 text, you get the idea. Box 2 header, text. Anyway, that's the box section. And last but not least is the footer right here. It's mostly, once again, just font formatting, and then height and width rectangle, background color black, margin auto to center it. Here is the HTML code. These P elements are just paragraph elements. It's good to put your text within like a P element or a header. It gives you better search engine optimization, like when Google or Bing or whoever it is crawls your site, they use these tags kind of to tell whether or not you're using good HTML coding skills. But that's the last little section of it, and then once again there's your final master container, closing div, closing body tag, closing HTML. And so basically that's it. We can check that in each browser. If we look at it in every browser, it looks nice. You know, there's IE, looks good in that. It looks good. This format looks good in every browser. the height and width that we set are set so where basically screen resolutions right now, this is going to be a good height and width for the current resolutions that most people use, current browsers most people are using. And so that's pretty much it. I guess one last thing I wanted to show you guys though is I know all this is like gray and boring and there's nothing going on here. I did that on purpose, you know, gives you a chance to be creative, kind of play around with the code, mix some colors in, play around with your fonts. And I was going to show you this tool real quick. It's a cool little handy color tool. I'm really having trouble typing today. But it's on w3schools.com. Right on the home page is a cool little color picker right here. Basically, you just hover over any color you want, and it spits out the little hex value for you. So, I mean, we could get like a pink right there. You just copy that, bring it back into our style sheet. So, let's say we wanted to make our header, instead of that gray color, we can just play around with it. And this is going to look god awful and hideous, but it's just for an example. So there's your background, you know, and you can play around with that. This site's really good if you just want to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, whatever it is you want to learn. It's all here. I mean, this is what I use, and I haven't paid a dime to go to school to learn any of this. And I mean, these tutorials are really good, so check that out. But yeah, that's pretty much the 3-box method layout. Like I said, I'll post this on my site. Go there, download the source code, copy and paste it, play around with it, make an awesome website, and I'll see you guys later.